Dr. Kaisha and Dr. Kevin, a power couple in every sense of the word. They met in the pressure cooker of medical school, their love story written in the margins of anatomy textbooks and late-night study sessions. Their dream wasn't just to be doctors. It was to be doctors together, partners in healing and in life. After graduation, they tied the knot, sealing their shared future with a promise to one day open their very own practice. 2 years of grinding, saving, and planning finally paid off. They found it, the perfect building. It was more than just brick and mortar. It was the foundation of their future, the physical manifestation of their shared ambition. Kevin, driven by this dream, poured every ounce of his being into the project. He was there day and night, transforming the empty space into a sanctuary of health and hope. Paint fumes were his cologne, and sawdust was his shadow. The grand opening was just 2 weeks away, and the excitement was a palpable energy between them. One evening, after a particularly long day of renovations, Kevin decided to head home early. He imagined the look on Kaisha's face when he walked through the door, a welcome surprise after his long hours at the new office. He turned the key, a smile already forming, but the house was silent, eerily silent. "Kaisha?" He called out, his voice echoing in the empty foyer. He checked the living room, the kitchen, their bedroom. Nothing. He walked through every room, his footsteps the only sound, checking every closet, every bathroom. Still no Kaisha. A knot of unease began to form in his stomach. He pulled out his phone, his thumb hovering over her picture before hitting FaceTime. It rang once, then went straight to voicemail. He tried again. Voicemail. He took a deep breath. Okay, don't panic. Maybe she's at the gym or went for a late-night run to clear her head. She did that sometimes. He tried to brush it off, telling himself there was a logical explanation. Exhausted from the day, Kevin eventually drifted off to sleep, expecting to be woken by Kaisha sliding into bed beside him. But when he woke the next morning, the space next to him was cold and empty. The sheets were undisturbed. Now the unease from last night had blossomed into full-blown panic. His heart was pounding in his chest as he threw the covers off. Just as he was about to jump out of bed, a sudden thud from downstairs startled him. Hope surged through him. He sprinted down the stairs, taking them 2 at a time, picturing Kaisha in the kitchen, a sheepish grin on her face as she explained where she'd been. But it wasn't Kaisha. It was Gloria, their housekeeper, quietly going about her morning chores. "Gloria," Kevin said, his voice strained. "Have you seen Kaisha? Have you heard from her?" Gloria looked up, her eyes wide. "No, no, Mr. Kevin," she replied, but her gaze quickly darted away. There was something in her expression, a flicker of guilt, of knowing something she wasn't saying. She quickly excused herself to finish her work, leaving Kevin standing there with a growing sense of dread. An idea struck him. Maybe Kaisha had the same thought as him and went to the office early. Maybe she wanted to surprise him by getting a head start on decorating her personal office space, adding her own unique touch. Clinging to this sliver of hope, Kevin grabbed his keys and raced to their new clinic. He pushed open the doors, the smell of fresh paint hitting him. But the building was as empty and silent as his house had been. No sign of Kaisha. The hope he had been holding on to dissolved, replaced by a cold, hard fear. His mind was racing. This wasn't like her. Not at all. With no other options, he drove to the local police station. He explained the situation to the officer at the desk, his words tumbling out in a panicked rush. The officer listened patiently but offered little comfort. "Sir, it hasn't been 24 hours yet," he said calmly. "Dr. Johnson is a grown woman. We see this all the time. Sometimes wives just need a break, you know. They just up and leave for a day or two to get some space." Kevin stared back, dumbfounded. A break? This wasn't a break. This was a disappearance. But the police were firm. Their hands were tied until 48 hours had passed. Frustrated and terrified, Kevin left the station feeling more alone than ever. As he drove, his mind kept replaying the scene with Gloria. The way she couldn't meet his eyes, the guilt written all over her face. He knew she was hiding something. He had to talk to her again. He floored the gas pedal, racing home, praying he could catch her before she left for the day. But as he screeched to a halt in his driveway, his heart sank. He was too late. Gloria's car was gone. But something else was there. A large utility van was parked right where his car should be. And as he got closer, he saw a man working on his front door. "Hey, what's going on?" Kevin yelled, running towards him. "This is my house. Who gave you authorization to change my locks?" The worker turned, unfazed by Kevin's frantic energy. He held up a clipboard. "Just following the work order, sir," he said matter-of-factly. "We got a call to change the locks for a Mrs. Kaisha DuPont." Kevin froze. The name hit him like a physical blow. DuPont. That wasn't Kaisha's maiden name. Her maiden name was Smith, and his last name was Johnson. Where did the name DuPont come from? It was a name he had never heard before. He stood there on his own driveway, locked out of his own home, staring at a strange van, with the ghost of a strange name hanging in the air. His wife was missing, his locks were changed, and he was suddenly a stranger in his own life. The mystery of Kaisha's disappearance had just taken a dark and bizarre turn. And Kevin realized he didn't know his wife or his life at all. What was Kaisha hiding? And who in the world was Kaisha DuPont? The questions swirled in his mind, each one more terrifying than the last.